A very happy Friday to you. Thank you so much for being with us and joining us on Friday, September 12th, as we get you ready for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Ashley Ruiz, and this is Weather Out West. This is an hour-long show where we're going to take a trip across the western regions. You're going to have forecasts from meteorologists in Colorado, Idaho, Washington State, Oregon, California, and even the desert Southwest. But today, we're going to kick things off in Denver because we have some active weather headed their way once again. More thunderstorms are expected to break out over Colorado today, and some of those storms could even produce heavy rain, gusty winds. But thankfully, the weekend won't be a total loss. Denver's Kathy Sabin has today's forecast.
Hello from Denver, Colorado. I'm 9 News Weather Impact Team meteorologist Kathy Sabin, and we have been enjoying a shift in the weather, which has allowed for a few rain showers, which we really need. It has been so warm and so dry that we're finally starting to feel a little more like fall. Even the autumnal equinox doesn't occur until the 22nd. High pressure anchored off to the east of us is pulling up some subtropical moisture, which has actually helped to bring some showers, almost too much of a good thing, into the mountains. We've had flooding and mudslide concerns in some of our burn scar areas, but the cloud covers help to bring temperatures down a bit, and that cooler trend looks like it's going to continue for today and into the weekend. This subtropical plume will mean additional showers in areas of our state that really need it in the next couple of days. West and southwestern Colorado, we have seen extreme drought conditions there, so this is really good news. But sometimes with the showers comes the threat of an isolated thunderstorm, and so level 2 out of 5 today for western and southwestern Colorado. So that's something we need to pay attention to. We'll see a batch of subtropical moisture come up from the southwest. These storms tracking northeast. We do have a 30% chance of rain from storms in Denver today, but the heavier showers appear to stay west and south initially and then go north of us during the afternoon. So kind of a day where our viewers need to keep 9 News with them and the rain gear as well as these storms develop. We have mid-60s this morning, upper 70s and low 80s this afternoon. So again, the best chance for rain from storms will be tomorrow and Saturday, with a fall-like temperature trend in the 70s over the weekend. Sunshine, dry air coming in Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Watching for something the middle part of the week that may bring in a couple of thunderstorms. So we're keeping an eye on that Tuesday afternoon forecast. But in the meantime, everybody looking forward to the weekend.
Well, a lot of times we see flooding across the great state of Colorado, but do you actually understand the difference between your traditional flood as well as flash flooding? If not, I have the answer for you. Here it is. Of course, your traditional floods can usually be predicted. That's where the flood watches come into place, and it's a really long-term event. Usually we'll see heavy downpours of rain for the next maybe 2 or 3 days. And then that's when you get that when rivers or streams will start to overflow. The difference between a flash flooding, though, that's where it can get a little serious. Happens with little to no warning. And of course, it can turn a dry creek into a raging river within minutes. And then also, of course, over burn scars, they're especially risky. So that's the reason you always have to be mindful of that. Now let's break down the difference between what a flood watch is, as well as a flood warning. Well, a flood watch, it's within its name itself. Conditions are favorable for flooding to occur, but a warning, flooding is already occurring. You need to take action right now. Move to higher ground, and of course, that's where you have that saying, turn around, don't drown. Here, last thing, with our weather pattern for this afternoon, we are expecting lots of rain towards the western slope, especially towards parts of the high country. We do have that flood watch, and we're expecting heavy downpours of rain over those burn scars, localized downpours, and of course, excessive runoffs. Now you have the tools to be prepared and, of course, stay safe.
That pesky upper level low that brought stormy weather to Idaho is still sending moisture over the region, but Friday's rain chances are much lower than previous days. Saturday looks much nicer. Boise's Hector Mendoza has your weekend forecast and details about a potential fall chill next week.
Hello, I'm Hector Mendoza forecasting out of Boise, Idaho, and we had some storms yesterday that left some dramatic views, and lots of people caught photos and posted on our Idaho Weather Watchers Facebook page. This is Chris Philip Hanko, who posted this, and you could see just how dramatic those clouds were, and you could see off into the distance all that precipitation that we saw well into the distance. What an amazing photo here. And I did want to take a chance to show you another photo that we saw, and this one, Raven posted this on our Idaho Weather Watchers Facebook page and said her 12-year-old took these photos and said, "Not bad, kid, not bad," as you caught some of the storms there from last night, and you could just see those clouds illuminated there and just beautiful photos. Thank you so much for posting that there. And some of the storms that came in yesterday didn't really come and pack a punch in terms of moisture that came into our area here, the Treasure Valley, as we didn't get much of that precipitation there. Places east of Boise and into the Magic Valley didn't really get much of that through the afternoon, but we did get a significant amount of moisture that made its way down. So precipitation totals close to about a half an inch out in McCall, and that's pretty much where most of that is going to stay there for today. And then to end off the day, especially as you looked in portions of the Treasure Valley here in Eagle, a beautiful sunset photo. It almost looks like these two trees are forming a bit of a heart there to show a frame there around the sunshine there before it started to set. So a beautiful view there. But again, like I mentioned, we are going to see that the quieter conditions are going to continue here for the Treasure Valley today and into tomorrow for the weekend. And we're expecting warmer temperatures to come along before we see another cool down early into the week with winds that are going to start to pick up and bring along some breezier conditions. Then as we look at temperatures there, they're going to rebound very quickly as we get into the middle of next week. So as we look here at the satellite and radar picture, not really much happening early on this morning, anticipating that to continue there for portions of the Treasure and Magic Valley, but things will change for places out in Valley County, at least for today, as we'll continue to see those shower chances linger here through this afternoon, staying dry for many of the valley spots. And then again, as we look on into Saturday, another chance there, this time for the Central Mountains, as it looks like it dipped down as low as Haley there and continues in portions, getting closer to the Magic Valley, but things not really hitting there, as we are anticipating a lot more of that sunshine that sticks around there for Saturday. And then into Sunday, we see another system that comes in that brings us a chance for some of those showers, and that's when we're expecting to see another round with much cooler temperatures that do come along. But as we look here at the 7-day forecast for the mountains, we see that sunshine there for Saturday, temperatures into the upper 70s and low 70s for some spots here as we're looking at areas in the west central mountains. Then we see another chance of some of those thunderstorms that do come along as we see that continue on into Monday with temperatures back down into the mid 60s. Then we see another warm up that comes along there, bringing temperatures back to near 80 there for the middle of the week. And we stay into those 70s all the way in through Friday with some of those clouds that do start to come along as we get closer into Friday. And as we look at Twin Falls, we see a lot more of the sunshine here in the forecast than we have in the past week or so, as we are going to see a pocket of some sunshine that comes along there for Saturday. Temperatures back into the 80s, dropping into the upper 60s there into Monday. And then we see nothing but sunshine as we get to Tuesday all the way through Thursday with temperatures near 80 again there. But as we look at the 7-day forecast here in Boise, pretty similar to what we're seeing out in Twin Falls, as we are going to stay into those upper 70s. So pretty similar to what we saw yesterday, but less of that activity overall here in southwest Idaho. We'll climb up into those low 80s, see a bit of a break of the precipitation on Saturday, and then see that return into the afternoon on Sunday. Temperatures will drop down near low 70s on Monday, and then we expect to see those drier conditions and much warmer temperatures that come along, that come back up into those more seasonal temperatures as we get into Wednesday and Thursday. And then we see that sunshine prevail at least into Thursday, but that's expected to stick around as we get towards the end of the following week.
We are just getting started on weather out west on this Friday. Coming up next, we're headed to the Evergreen State, Washington, and later, fall is right around the corner, and though some of us are feeling that fall-like weather, you may notice we're also quickly losing daylight. We'll talk all about it coming up. Welcome back to Weather Out West on this Friday. And the Northwest is one of the most beautiful places to be in the summer, and especially as we wrap up the summer. Let's start in Western Washington, where Saturday is going to be a good day to venture out, but Sunday you may want to plan for some showers. Seattle's Rich Marriott tells us what we can expect.
Hi, I'm King 5 meteorologist Rich Merritt, and we've made it to Friday. Mercifully, we've got the weekend just ahead of us, and we had a lot of fog around yesterday morning. In fact, it was widespread dense fog. At one point, there was a dense fog advisory out from the Weather Service yesterday morning, but today, hardly any fog at all. In fact, the only place I found any significant fog has been there at Port Angeles, looking out towards the strait. It's kind of lost in that fog bank out there, but blue sky above, so that should be burning off as we head towards a little bit later on today. Overall, just about everybody else around the Sound has got just clouds out there, just some low clouds, and even seeing it start to break out a little bit. That shot of Everett's Payne Field yesterday was at zero visibility about this time, so definitely an improvement. The Columbia Tower cam showing gray skies. A lot of places like there in Tacoma starting to see it brighten up, so getting ready to burn off a little earlier than it did yesterday afternoon as well, which would give us a little bit warmer temperatures. We dropped back into the mid to upper 60s yesterday, so we're going to pick up a few degrees today, and actually quite a few more as we head towards Saturday. Looking out from our shot there, this is at Acrisure Stadium back in Pittsburgh. Seahawks not in town Sunday for our showers that are headed our way. They're going to be playing back in Pittsburgh, and actually not too different on Sunday in Pittsburgh. We're looking for temperatures during the game probably in the upper 70s to the low 80s with blue skies again, so they're going to be in pretty good shape. Probably prefer back there, at least weather-wise. I'm sure they'd rather be with the 12s here at Lumen. Checking our 7-day forecast, you can see we've got a pretty good day today, and we warm up tomorrow. Quite a bit of warming between Friday and Saturday with temperatures mostly in the 70s. Might even see some upper 70s in some of the warmer spots, but doesn't last very long. We look for showers and coolers as we head towards Sunday, and then we start to dry out a little bit the first part of the week. Looking at the satellite image today, we do have the low clouds, and the marine deck covered most of western Washington. It looks like it's starting to break out a little bit. We've got high pressure just off the coast. That's going to move through today and tomorrow, kind of holding off this front that's out there. That's finally going to push in here in a weakened state as we head towards early on Sunday morning, give us some off and on showers mixed in with some sun breaks on Sunday to wrap up the weekend, and also cooler temperatures back to the mid to upper 60s. And we've been seeing a lot of this up and down motion. This is kind of preparing us for the arrival of fall. We were mid to upper 60s yesterday, and so around the Seattle area we're going to get up into the low 70s today and maybe some upper 70s tomorrow. Then we fall off again, come back up again as we head towards Tuesday, and then start to cool once again. It's even more dramatic in the Olympia area where they were, I think, about 67 yesterday. They're going to be 77 as we head towards Saturday, and then cool back into the 60s and then up into the low 80s. And well, getting us ready for fall, like I said, and that's just 10 days away. Just a week from Monday is the official arrival of fall, so we should be ready for that, and we'll see some even bigger swings, I have a feeling. Checking the smoke situation, actually in western Washington, it's actually pretty good right now. We do have onshore winds, so it's keeping the smoke very light and pushing most of it to the east. And you can see as we roll through the model today and tomorrow, it stays pretty much up towards the Cascades. Still some pretty hefty smoke over in eastern Washington, especially in the vicinity of those active fires over there, unfortunately. But the air quality here on the west side of the Cascades generally in good shape with good air quality. And then on the east side of the Cascades, those areas near the fires actually seeing the worst air quality, and not too much of a change as we head into Sunday either. Take a look at the mountains. If you're headed up that way, beautiful morning today. We actually had the marine deck in here filling in lower down, but Hurricane Ridge was up in the sun through the whole morning. We're going to see a little bit of light smoke haze, but nothing too bad there. And looking up towards the summit of Mount Rainier there from Paradise, looking very attractive. And checking that split camera between Snoqualmie and Stevens Pass, as you can see, the fog is in there at Snoqualmie. You can see the edge of it there from the Stevens Pass camera, and the pass is just about at the base of where the marine deck is sitting right now. So it's the reason you're seeing that. Just as a side note, I would note I was up hiking around Stevens Pass last week, and the huckleberries are out. So just a little advice there. If you're looking for someplace to hike tomorrow, you can go up and you can eat your way up and down the trail. Never too bad. Checking the forecast for today, we're going to be looking for that fog early, but it's going to clear out to sunshine. Temperatures at the highway pass levels getting into the mid 60s, and then over the weekend, tomorrow looking really nice. Mostly sunny, temperatures getting into the low to mid 70s up at the passes. Not quite as nice on Sunday. It's going to be a rainy day. It will be rain unless you're going up really high in the mountains because that snow level near 9,000 feet. Checking temperatures around Puget Sound today, we are going to rebound rebound from those mid to upper 60s yesterday. In the upper 60s and 70 degrees north of Everett, and then south of Everett, look for the low 70s most spots. And then Saturday's looking like a really nice day. Temperatures going to be mostly in the low to mid 70s with some upper 70s down in the South Sound. But then that little system moves in, gives us a chance of showers on Sunday, and those temperatures drop back to the mid to upper 60s. We rebound a little bit as we head towards Monday with temperatures back into the upper 60s and low 70s. And then our warmest day of the week is going to be on Tuesday with temperatures in the 70s with some low 80s. Definitely still late summer there in the South Sound as we head into Tuesday. But then it's going to be cooling once again as we head towards midweek. Little weak system is going to move in here with a few showers around, but only dropping us back to the low to mid 70s. Be basically morning clouds and afternoon sun for Thursday with those temperatures hovering right around 70 degrees. And if we look at the 6 to 10 day temperatures, you can see they're holding pretty much in the low 70s, so a few degrees below normal for this time of the year, but definitely getting us ready for the arrival of fall, which is actually on the 22nd.
Only 10 days away. From western Washington now to eastern Washington. Sunshine is on tap for much of the weekend, but much needed rain returns heading into the final full week of summer. Can you believe it? Spokane's Thomas Patrick has more details.
I'm meteorologist Thomas Patrick in Spokane, Washington, coming to you from the Spokane County Interstate Fair for the second weekend of the fair. We've got an absolutely beautiful weekend ahead weather-wise here, and honestly, this weekend's looking much better than it was past weekend, where we were plagued a bit by some poor and unhealthy air quality at times. This previous week, it was a bit on the warm side, nothing too extreme with highs in the mid-80s. But today is looking like a beautiful, beautiful day. Love getting out here and outside on days like this. By the way, if you are in Eastern Washington and visiting the Spokane County Interstate Fair, you're gonna find our setup at KREM 2 right in the heart of it. And we've got our own storm tracker, perfect with the weather graphics right in the back here. It is awesome to be able to take the weather out on the road and still have all the same tools that we would have at our weather center at home base. And with that being said, let's get to your fair forecast. So again, this second Friday of the fair is looking just perfect outside, even though it had stormed here at 2 a.m. It was quite the lightning show in Spokane County. Only a few spots getting hit, but the fairgrounds were one of them. That way in the rearview mirror as things are looking completely sunny overhead. And it's gonna stay that way today as those early morning thunderstorms have all come to an end. So it's a dry start to the weekend for Friday and Saturday primarily, before we get to a Sunday rain chance thanks to a cold front that will be passing through the inland northwest and eastern Washington. So with that being said, our forecasted high of 80 degrees today is still above average, but it is still plenty mild outside. Very comfortable for this time of year. Now here's the latest on our satellite and radar. Those early morning thunderstorms which passed through at around 2 to 2:30 this morning in Spokane have all drifted over southeastern Washington. Not a whole lot of leftover rain or lightning, and what is left this morning should fizzle out very quickly, leaving us with a completely dry forecast. This is our future tracker, the computer model simulation of the rain, and in the next 24 hours, there's nothing to be had. I will say that North Idaho mountains could pop a shower or storm during the overnight hours, like after midnight tonight, but that should not affect any of our cities during the day, neither today nor tomorrow. By the way, not only is it the fair, it is also National Video Game Day. I'm going to use one of my favorites. I'm a big Pokemon fan myself. No spoilers from the Nintendo Direct here, just a forecast for Spokane. Again, about 80 degrees the high temperature today. As you see, basically sunny skies all day long. So a high of 80 in Spokane is about 5 degrees above average. No warmer than the mid to upper 80s for central Washington today, but a very comfortable looking forecast for this upcoming September weekend. Just a shade warmer for Saturday, but that's looking picture perfect outside with more sunny skies. Sunday should be mostly fine as well, though it starts to trend just a little bit cooler overall, thanks to a cold front that'll drop those temperatures for a day or two, getting us back into the 70s. But I'll tell you what, we're still looking mostly warm and dry for next week. Beyond this cold front, aside from a day or two, we still trend well above average across the Pacific Northwest. So for us, that means, again, upper 70s and low 80s. will be commonplace across the region. Again, the only exception would be after that cold front passes Sunday night. That's when our next chance for rain showers will be, and into Monday morning. And that will leave Monday as the coolest day of the forecast at about 71 degrees for the high temperature. Otherwise, enjoy some beautiful weather in Spokane with highs in the low 80s today and tomorrow.
Coming up after a quick break, we're headed back out west to Portland and Sacramento. Welcome back to Weather Out West on this Friday. I'm Ashley Ruiz. Hopefully you're gearing up for a really nice weekend. We know Northern and Central California, they definitely are, because they're going to soak up the sunshine over the weekend, but slight storm chances continue to linger in the Sierra. Here's Sacramento's Monica Woods with everything you need to know as we head into the weekend.
I'm meteorologist Monica Woods looking at our regional headlines heading into the middle of September, and we have picture-perfect conditions for the weekend outlook in Northern and Central California. Breezy along the coast, sunny for the valley. Apple Hill is open in the foothills. And for the Sierra, we have a storm chance on Friday, but then things start to actually clear out this weekend. Apple Hill. Now, this is in the Sierra foothills. It is just a great place to go up and not only pick apples, but get your apple pie and all things that just really scream fall. Mostly sunny skies this weekend. Our highs are going to be in the 80s. Southwest winds about 5 miles per hour or so. In Napa, another great place to visit in the fall. A mix of sun and clouds. Our temperatures in the low to mid 80s. Those grape leaves are just about to change as well. Little breezy towards the coast, a mix of sun and clouds, but you'll see those west winds roughly at about 15 to 20 miles per hour. A little cool on Saturday. Highs near 70. We'll be in the mid 70s. Heading into Sunday. Our Lake Tahoe forecast, we've been dealing with a lot of storm activity, but that too will start to quiet. Highs near 70 with a mix of sun and clouds. And then a little bit farther to the south, Yosemite has been even more active than the Tahoe Basin. Sunshine returns. Our highs will be in the 80s heading into this weekend outlook. Now, the cool fall feel is courtesy of this low pressure system, which will eventually leave much of California. But we've been seeing some cooler weather as well as periods of showers that lingers into our Friday as that low kind of scoots its way off to the east. So just on the east side of the valley is where we're predominantly going to see the risk of thunderstorms into our Friday forecast. Outside of that, though, things are really starting to clear out and warm up heading into next week. We've got the short-term forecast following the slight chance of thunderstorms in the Sierra for our Friday afternoon. Beyond that, things actually start to clear out. Quite a bit of fog along the coast, and then we pick up a slight northwest wind that will start to dry things out. And that's going to lead us to more sunshine in the forecast and also some warming conditions next week. We've got another weather system on the move into our Sunday outlook, and that's what's going to keep us right about below average. Nothing too extreme, and we actually took out the chance of showers in the forecast from that. Highs in the 60s for today in the Sierra as we head down the hill. Again, 70s and 80s. And a beautiful weekend outlook as well. Slight chance of those lingering thunderstorms into our Friday for Yosemite National Park. Highs will stay in the 60s, whereas the lower elevations were sunny with highs in the 80s. Moving to the Central Coast, our highs will be in the 60s and 70s. Morning fog, afternoon sunshine. Inland areas were starting to warm back to near 90 for the central San Joaquin Valley. Along the Bay Area forecast, our highs will reach the 60s and 70s. Point Reyes at 73 degrees. That's a great place to go hiking, by the way. Inland areas, we're looking at sunny skies and highs in the mid to upper 80s, still a little bit below average. Highs will be in the 60s right along the northwest coast here. Quite a bit of fog for Crescent City as well as Eureka. Inland areas were right back to about 90, but again, starting to finally see sunny skies and far less thunderstorm activity. The capital region calling for highs pretty close to average, upper 80s to low 90s, with overnight lows falling to about the upper 50s to near 60. That's how we'll start off our Saturday outlook. Moving on to our extended forecast, we've got that slight chance of showers for Friday afternoon and then clearing for the weekend outlook and warming into next week. You'll see even for the foothills where we have Apple Hill and a great place to visit, things will be getting quite toasty by the middle of next week. For the Bay Area forecast, highs will be near 80 by Monday and Tuesday. That's warm for the Bay. Look at our extended forecast. We've got the 80s staying around and through the weekend. And then by next week, we're starting to see our warming trend take shape with highs in the upper 90s to almost near 100. We'll be tracking that heat into next week.
Soak it up. And now we're going to take you up I-5 into Oregon, and much like northern central California, beautiful forecast. You'll want to take advantage of the quiet weather heading into the weekend as the seasons start to change. And shower chances do return on Sunday, just like up in Washington. Portland's Rod Hill is breaking it all down for you in today's forecast.
On a Friday, I'm meteorologist Rod Hill. Hope your day is going well. We are looking forward to a nice day down here in Portland. We had solid low clouds that never broke up yesterday. We thought that could happen. Today we have pretty good confidence that we eventually will get the sunshine on this Friday and have a really nice Friday evening. The wide satellite picture, this is our rainmaker for Sunday. Weather models have changed the orientation somewhat of the weather system, but the timing still brings a first wave of some precipitation inland tomorrow overnight into early Sunday morning. And I'll show you Futurecast that with that situation in a moment. We're looking at a mainly dry day here in Oregon. There could be a few spotty showers out over the Blue Mountains, but that's about it. We've had those days and days this week of scattered storms. Central Oregon, no rain chance today, so folks getting a head starter on their weekend going over to Bend or Sun River will find nice, dry, and for the most part, sunny conditions. Sun River was reporting some fog early this morning. Oh my goodness gracious. So the last time I saw this camera, about 20 minutes ago, it was just starting to see some cracks in the cloud cover, and now just like that, it's a beautiful morning in Lincoln City. So how about it? Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera. So this doesn't necessarily mean that the valley is going to clear out, but what we look at as forecasters, everything seems to be pointing to that fact. It is perfectly clear up above the low marine deck, up at Timberline. Beautiful morning. It's been in the 50s up there. Nice mild start, no wind. Here's our state capitol, and a little brightness with the cloud deck that, again, is expected to start breaking up around midday today, and a similar scene over downtown Portland. In fact, it looks like underneath the banner, there are some thin spots in the cloud cover, so that would be encouraging if you would like Friday sunshine. A little bit of brightness showing up here. You got the train crossing, got some tankers and fishing boats out here. I just saw a picture of a friend of mine that caught a king salmon this morning in the Columbia, and boy, it was a big one. So it's been a lot of folks fishing this week. That's from the springs at the waterfront in Vancouver, and again, that's looking west from downtown Vancouver and the Columbia River. Here's Futurecast. Shows the cloudiness getting out of here quickly as we get rolling into the afternoon hours. Here's tomorrow, which is all dry. Could be some early patches of fog in the valley, but then we get sun. Later on Saturday, we get increasing cloudiness, but we'll stay dry Saturday evening into the night. Now, this is Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Notice the colors. It's scattered, showery weather, but by 7 in the morning, we already have inland bands all the way to the Cascades, and the bright colors tells you there's some convection, meaning heavy downpours mix in. So this is Sunday morning. This is Sunday at 5 o'clock. Shower machine still going. And it's tough to pinpoint these showery patterns. I mean, are you going to get this many showers or that many? And keep in mind, you can be in the one spot where you kind of don't get anything, or you can be in a spot, and if you get caught with a couple of downpours, you will easily pick up a good not half of an inch of rain, but a good quarter of an inch of rain on Sunday. That shower chance looks to end now Sunday overnight, so we'd wake up to dry weather on Monday. Weather models not really having a great handle on the precip output, but this is showing a quarter to maybe even 4/10 of an inch of rain with some thunderstorm potential in eastern and central Oregon. Doesn't pick up a lot of precip totals, in fact, less than 1/10 of an inch here in the valley, but it's scattered. And grid patterns, which is what forecast models are, have a tough time of pinpointing scattered precipitation. So we'll see how much we end up with. Today we get the sun. We warm up into the 70s in Salem, and here's Portland 74 today, 82 tomorrow. There's the showery weather on Sunday, 69, a dry Monday, and then a run of 80-degree weather with sunshine Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week.
That's the kind of forecast where you can appease summer lovers and fall lovers. So after the break, we're headed to the southwest where our meteorologists in San Diego and Phoenix are tracking monsoon moisture. Southern California continues to feel a nice little break from the summer heat. San Diego's Vanessa Paz tells us how long it's going to last and when to expect some rain.
Happy Friday from San Diego, California. Finally made it to the end of the work week. I'm CBS 8 meteorologist Vanessa Paz. We had a nice thick cloud deck hanging overhead earlier this morning. A lot of that will be stuck mainly across the coastal communities throughout mid-morning, and then we'll see much more clearing, especially for those areas away from the coast. We have to give a shout out to so many of our viewers. They submit incredible photos. A lot of them are recurring submitters, including Don Beadog. He sent in this photo of the coast yesterday. As we take a look at headlines, wrapping up your work week and heading into the weekend, it will be pleasant all the way through about Saturday and Sunday, and then we're looking towards an inland warming pattern on Sunday. That'll sort of be our transition day out of this cool weather that we've been enjoying. And not only are we going to start to feel temperatures warm up, but we're also looking at an incoming surge of some tropical moisture back in the picture. So why is it all happening? This is activity at 500 millibars aloft. We have this area of low pressure. This is what's enhancing that onshore flow. It's going to move east, and coming in will be a ridge of high pressure replacing that low, and that will usher in warm temperatures and also bring us the return of easterly flow, also known as that monsoonal flow. So notice how it picks up some moisture from the Gulf of Baja as well as off the coast of the Pacific, and that will bring in the chance for some light shower activity looking ahead to Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. As of right now, the chances look fairly slim, and it looks like most activity, if we do see any, will be confined to the county's eastern half along the mountains as well as the desert areas. So yeah, monsoonal flow is just a fancy way of saying that there's a shift in winds. They'll come out of the east versus the west, which is what we're used to. All right, so that eventually starts to weaken looking ahead to the end of next week. So although we have a warming pattern that we're looking forward to next week, it's pretty short-lived. All right, so here is our European model, and highlighted in the dark gray is San Diego County. I'm going to put this into play here and notice how we start to see some green on the radar, indicating some light showers and instability. Notice what happens when I fast forward to Wednesday. A lot more green here on the maps, and that's that monsoonal moisture coming in. If we don't see any showers, especially for the county's western half, you will certainly feel it in the form of mugginess. It will we'll look at sticky and uncomfortable conditions outside, especially as temperatures start to rise. We are looking at becoming widespread even more so on Thursday, and then it looks like we'll dry out looking ahead to Friday all the way through next weekend. Here's what's on tap for Friday afternoon across our microclimates. We're talking about low 70s along the coastal and beach neighborhoods. Highs for the inland and mountain areas will be in the upper 70s. That's a lot cooler than average, and we'll be spoiled with mid 90s for our desert communities. But soak it all in. Again, I'm emphasizing that because looking ahead to next week, temperatures are going to rise up. Some areas are going to see anywhere between a 5 to maybe 15-degree jump in temperatures. Here's what's on tap for Saturday afternoon. I mean, really, when we talk about San Diego's forecast and how nearly perfect it is, we're not lying. We're talking about mostly 70s. Blanketing the coastal areas will hit highs in the high 70s for interior parts of the county. We'll see some low 80s out there tomorrow afternoon, including for spots like Ramona as well as El Cajon, low 80s out in Julian, and we'll be flirting with the hundreds for our desert communities. The coast and inland areas, subtle daily changes for the weekend. In fact, we're looking at some of the coolest conditions Saturday and Sunday, and then Monday is when temperatures slowly start to rise. Some of the hottest days will be next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Daytime highs by then will be above average. Meanwhile, for the mountains and desert areas, low 70s on tap for tomorrow afternoon. We'll see that transition into warmer conditions come Sunday, Monday. Most of that heat up that we're expecting is for the inland parts of the county.
It's shaping up to be a pretty nice late summer weekend in Arizona. In fact, temperatures will be cooler than normal, but next week temperatures are going up. No surprise there, and possibly some rain chances. Here's Ginger Jeffries with the latest from Phoenix.
I'm meteorologist Ginger Jeffries. We'll look at your weather out west across Arizona, where we are finally looking at some cooler conditions to take us into the weekend. And then next week, we've got increased opportunities for some pop-up monsoon moisture. So remember, the monsoon season goes through the end of September. So far, we're still behind with our rainfall, but I think we're going to make up some of that ground by next week. Today, we do have some opportunity for some showers once again to the east side of the state. We started to see it bubble up yesterday. There were some stray showers here or there. The wind machine continues as well for higher elevations, even though it's really just going to be secluded. And the reason for the wind, well, look at this. We've got a tale of two different weather patterns. Wet and cloudy on one side, warm and dry on the other. In the middle, yep, you've got that wind. That's because those pressure gradients are nice and tight. Meantime, overhead in Phoenix, we're going to get a little bit of cloud cover outside. Temperature-wise, we're actually below the normal range. Our average high this time of the year, 102 degrees. I'm calling for highs at 101. And remember, we started the work week at around 108. So as far as rainfall, you can see it's really huddled on the east side of the state, but clearly higher elevations could see up to an inch of rain today. So this is a juicy little system that is coming in. And as I put it in motion, you can see what's going to develop. After about 11 o'clock this morning, we have some shower potential on the far east side of the metro. I don't think it's going to be down into the valley, but it's getting awfully close. So brighter banding indicating this is where we're looking for the heavier rainfall. So the light green just kind of shows the area that we may see some showers. And simply because we've got some clouds in the mix. I mean, look at this. You saw one roll through the metro. Looks like on the southwest quadrant of the region, but it's just very unstable. It's going to be hit and miss. It's going to be pocketed. It's going to be isolated, and it's going to be the screenplay for us today into tomorrow with increased opportunities as we get into next week. So now we've got a 1 on the board, meaning we are expecting to see some very light stray showers. Heavier action will be for the highest elevation with the deepest concentration on southwest Arizona around the Tucson area. Now, why I keep talking about next week is because it's tropical activity. I've been talking about this the past couple days. It had probability of forming into some sort of tropical disturbance. Right now, it is tropical disturbance, tropical wave 13. And yes, it is going to be tracking very similar to what we saw Hurricane Lorena do, which released a lot of moisture that then lifted up into the Four Corners, bringing in some saturation. So today, I know it's still a long range forecast, but the opportunity for showers already on the uptick. For high country, about a 20% chance by Thursday and Friday, and even for Phoenix, we're up to about a 20%, which again, don't change your plans. It's still a long range forecast. It's just something that is in development. Meantime, for today, we've got some double digits on the board. 98 today in Mesa, 97 in Fountain Hills, 101 in Goodyear, and a pair of 9s in Buckeye. As far as that mixture of sunshine and cloud cover, we're also looking for a little bit of wind. That's a sign that that moisture gets closer. So when the moisture moves through, the wind picks up. And again, we are going to see plenty of clouds outside and some sunshine. Now, as far as the wind goes, I mean, look at this. Winds are going all over the place. So this is a great indicator that we're in between two different weather patterns. That's why we've got the opportunity for some pop-up showers and some stronger winds in the higher elevations. But I think the biggest impact will be temperatures that continue to come down. Now, next week, it does look like we've got a little pocket of warm air that's going to precede the monsoon moisture. So after we enjoy below normal conditions this weekend, look for temperatures to be slightly above the normal range through the early part of next week.
Coming up after a quick break, we still have a lot to cover. Julie Martin has our national forecast. Well, we've covered out west where we've had a break from the heat, some thunderstorms, still some heavy rain over the Rockies. Our friends out east, including some heavy rain over Florida, that's in the forecast. Julie Martin has those details.
Well, we can look forward to some warmer temperatures across big portions of the central U.S. Summer kind of returning there. Also, some rain could be heavy at times in the Rockies and in central and southern Florida. Here are your forecast highs then for your Friday. The 90s are returning here from Iowa, Des Moines at 91 into the Mid-South. So St. Louis, Memphis, Little Rock, you're all going to be hot once again and feeling a lot like summer. Those 90s draped across the deep south and through Florida will be topping out in the high 80s. And then the Mid-Atlantic looking pretty comfortable. We've got the high 70s to low 80s. New England a little bit on the chillier side, topping out there in the 70s. And then the Pacific Northwest staying cool with the 70s from Seattle to Portland. Still dealing with the heat here in Phoenix, triple digits for you as we wrap up this week. The watches and warnings pretty minimal. We do have some coastal flooding possible from, say, the Delmarva down into the Carolinas along the coast, and then maybe the north coast of Florida in terms of coastal flooding. Now, Florida, you could see that flooding central and southern because of the rain. Also along the Front Range here, that's where we could see a little bit of flooding. But other than that, we'll stay relatively quiet. Our severe weather threat is low. We've got a level 1 out of 5 here for portions of Montana in dark green and the Dakotas, and then the Front Range from Denver down into Arizona, New Mexico. That's where we could see a couple of isolated stronger storms. We look at the rainfall and what we kind of expect to accumulate over the next couple of days. Florida's already been getting soaked all week, and we're likely going to pick up a couple of more inches before it's all said and done. So there you see some of those higher totals really from Tampa to Fort Myers down into Miami. We've got the desert monsoonal rains also working their way through, and then even in North Dakota here, we could see some pockets of heavier rainfall. Let's take you region by region now. Here's a look at your forecast highs then as we wrap up the week and head into the weekend. Seattle looking good for you, a little bit cooler on Sunday at 67. Some rain headed your way by the end of the weekend in Portland. Boise, beautiful forecast, high 70s to low 80s. And in Spokane, we could get a little rain second half of the weekend as well. Looks nice in Denver. We'll have to watch out for a couple of storms over the weekend. Triple digits still at the heat there in Phoenix. San Diego, couldn't ask for a better forecast. And in Sacramento, we'll be in the 80s. We're going to see those 90s once again all across Texas, but other than that, we should stay quiet. And into the deep south, we will mostly stay quiet as well, aside from maybe an isolated stray thunderstorm here or there. Temperatures will be pretty seasonable with those 80s and 90s. And then heading into the mid-south, as I mentioned, hot. Look at St. Louis on Saturday at 98 degrees. Louisville, you'll be in the 90s. Charlotte, you'll still hang in the 80s. And then in and around the Great Lakes, looks very nice out there. In fact, we'll just have to watch out for an isolated storm in places like Grand Rapids. Other than that, temperature-wise, should be really nice. And that goes for you in New England as well. Although those mornings will be chilly, we will warm things up into the 70s from Portland to Buffalo. And the Mid-Atlantic looks great with the 70s and 80s.
After the break, prepare for the big dark. We'll take a look at sunrise and sunset times and how much daylight we will start to lose this month leading up to the winter solstice. Fall is officially 10 days away, the autumn equinox. It's almost here, and it's the time of change with our weather patterns, but also as we begin to make our shift toward the sun, or away from the sun in the northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, they make their journey tilted toward the sun. And so with that being said, on both sides of the equinox, after the solstices occur, that's when we start to rapidly lose daylight. So after June into July, that's when we really start to lose daylight all the way to the northern latitudes, as you see, from the north and the Pacific Northwest all the way down to the Gulf Coast. It is starting to go from higher numbers to lower numbers. So 50 minutes lost in July. And then as we go to August, you notice up north in portions of Idaho and just our northern states in general goes from 50 minutes to 90 minutes. August is the time when we start to really lose daylight. But watch what happens into September and into October. It's still very, very high. It's rapid, and it's because on both sides of the equinox, that's when we see the biggest changes. Again, when we go from summer to winter, Earth begins to tilt away from the sun. And so the higher in latitudes that you live, closer to the poles, that's where you're going to have the more dramatic changes. But the good news is November and then heading into the winter solstice starts to pump its brakes. And then after that, in January, we start to gain daylight rapidly as we start to inch closer and closer to the spring equinox. So hang tight. It happens every year, as we well know. But to put it into perspective, this is where Seattle is right now. So on the first day of fall, September 22nd, the equal day and night, losing about 3 minutes and 24 seconds, and that's per day. And then we fall back. Daylight saving time comes to an end on November 2nd, and 4:49 p.m. sunsets, and on the winter solstice, only a second loss, but still the shortest day of the year. Boise, of course, pretty similar on the solstice, 8:15 a.m., 5:11 for a sunset. Imagine that. If you don't live in Idaho and sunrise time of 8:15, that's pretty late. Portland, again, very similar. You see as we start to get farther south, that's when it's not as dramatic, but dramatic nonetheless. Sacramento, this is where you stand right now. You're currently losing about 2 minutes and 27 seconds. And then on the solstice, on the winter solstice, 7:20 a.m., 4:48 sunset. And then Denver, again, is still in the central latitude, so it's also still pretty dramatic, but definitely nothing like Southern California and then into Phoenix. But even then, they're still losing about a minute and 58 seconds. And don't forget, again, daylight saving comes to an end on November 2nd, except for Phoenix. No falling back in Arizona. And you see right now 2 minutes and 2 seconds. So heading into fall, and on the other side of fall, the equinox, same for spring, that's when we see the most rapid changes. We want to thank you so much for joining us on this Weather Out West on this Friday. I'm Ashley Ruiz, and we hope to see you again on Monday.